Robert family, welcome to the official Royal Rumble 2022 review results. We had a lot of things happen in this Rumble, a lot of surprise entrants. Also, we wanted to see who was going to be the winners of the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. We knew that there's going to be returns that a lot of people already spoiled, so it was like it doesn't feel the same. But Jean-Paul, overall, I think we got a really good start with the Universal Championship match. What are your feels about this Royal Rumble?
If we're going just the pay-per-view as a whole, it was all right for what WWE's been giving us recently. It was pretty good, but if we're going off the spirit of the Royal Rumble and do I like the winners and everything, no, not so much. Especially with the men's, the women's was predictable with what we heard in the spoilers, and then the men's Royal Rumble match, was a bit of a letdown for me.
It was we wanted more surprises. A lot of and you know what's sad, because of the Forbidden Door was kind of open, and a lot of people start teasing that I'm in the Rumble. So I guess WWE sometimes changes plans also to not be that much spoiled. But we're going to be talking about absolutely everything. Thank you so very much to every single one of you for your support, for your love. We also appreciate that, and please keep doing that. Subscribing, hit the bell for notifications, and also keep sharing the link for our videos so more people can be exposed to the original Raw break. And like you said, this the one thing I gotta admit, Paul, the pre-show didn't have any matches on that, so that was cool. It was just talking about the Rumble. It was talking the pre-video packages, all of that. So I like that. So 8 o'clock, Universal Championship match, Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns. This was probably the best match of the night. Correct me if you can tell me if that's not how you feel. But for me, at least, especially with Seth Rollins coming out to the Shield entrance, with the Shield's gear and everything. So that kind of set the tone, because he was trying to annoy Roman Reigns, and he actually did that.
Yeah, no, I like this match. I would say it probably was the best match of the night. And Roman Reigns, I like how he always says, hey, if I'm not going to main event the show, I'm going to be on first. And, he started it, and this was good. The Shield entrance was great by Rollins, and again, get in the head of Roman Reigns. The whole storyline is Roman can't stand that Seth Rollins was the one who destroyed the Shield. And I like how a couple times when they reference the Shield, Michael Cole refers to John Moxley as Dean Ambrose, when Seth Rollins called him Moxley on a promo on Monday Night Raw. So it's funny how they call him different names and stuff. But no,
exactly,
the match
they
was
allowed
good.
That. They allowed that. It was they said they allowed that.
The match was good. Rollins dominated most of it early on. You saw he was, he hit a big, the Shield power bomb onto the announce table on the outside. Roman went through that. Roman was selling a lot back in the ring, and again, early on in this match, Rollins hit a lot of flurry of offense, the big buckle bomb in the corner. Then he set up the stomp, 1, 2, and there was a 2.9. Roman just gets his shoulder up. The place was popping, the crowd was hot. They were into it, and this was good. And you said, Seth Rollins is going to win. You said you heard, again, because the spoilers are always out there, unfortunately, the dirt sheets and people who report, they say Rollins is going to win this match.
Yes.
And you think, well, what the hell, is he going to be the Universal Champion? What's going on here? Well, that's not really how they did it, because Roman, he makes his comeback, and eventually, not to skip to the end, if you want to talk about anything else, we can go back, but he gets him in the choke, and it's is Rollins going to get to the ropes? Is he going to get to the ropes? And he does. And normally, okay, he's going to count to 4 and Roman's going to let him go. Match is going to continue, right? No, Roman's holding him, and Charles Robinson, he's just you got to let go, and he counts, and he goes, 5, and he doesn't let go, and he's all right, ring the bell, got to do what you got to do. So technically Rollins wins this match. So the people who reported he was going to win wasn't a lie. He won, but obviously he was on a DQ, so he doesn't win the belt. And then you see after the match, Roman he's not done.
We got the pose attack. Yes.
Yeah, he beats him down with a chair and everything. And is this feud over? Especially, with what we saw later on in the night. I don't know, does Rollins fit in anywhere?
It seems to me like it is over. It seems to me like it's over, and I will tell you why, and I will address everything, because at day one, Rollins was supposed to win the WWE Championship. well, in that fatal four-way. Roman Reigns gets in, you remember, he gets COVID, everybody, like, they have to be taken out of the match, so that's why they rearranged this thing, adding Lesnar, and all of that changed completely. And for this reason, I feel like, it's like, what do? They put this together just for, like, this feud, and now let's go back to what the original plan has always been, Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So, I enjoyed the match. It was good for, like, Seth Rollins and Roman have a lot of chemistry. They're best friends, the Shield and all of that. They were able to give us a good story. Roman's remains, he stays good. Seth Rollins stays good. So I really like this. So for me, it was a good start of the Royal Rumble, and like you said, we're going to see how like they go away with this, or like maybe Seth Rollins goes to like the WWE Championship.
The only thing I could think of is they're going to have the show in Saudi Arabia.
Yes,
maybe they do a rematch there because it was a screwy finish here, and spoiler alert, we know somebody else is a lock for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So Roman's going to need a match at that pay-per-view if he has one. So I could see them doing a Rollins rematch if they're going to do it, but this was a great opening match.
Yes, it was. So now, Paul, let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, this is cool that like they do this, in between, and this doesn't close the show because the card when it comes to the women was not that great. I mean, the addition of Mickie James, the fact that they actually mentioned Impact Knockouts champion, like you said it best, Paul, and I agree with you absolutely 1,000%. It's the same girls, it's the same legends every single Rumble since it's the beginning of it on 2018. It's been the same girls. It's Trish, it's Lita, it's Molly Holly, it's Kelly, it's Michelle McCool, it's all of them. But they can never bring anybody like there was rumors of Kairi Sane. They never brought Kairi Sane.
And we don't got to talk about everybody and everything. I mean, this is one thing I want to say. Sasha Banks. It was cool to see her. She was in there for maybe 10, 15 minutes or so.
She got elimination too.
Yeah, she got some eliminations, and she was. There was rumors saying, was she was hurt? I guess not rumors, but the reports were she wasn't gonna make the Royal Rumble. She was hurt, so that was cool to see she was in it. But like I said, she wasn't in very long, and I think that had to do with maybe the injury. They're like, hey, go in there, but don't injure yourself even more. Don't be bullshit. Get in, get out. And she had a pretty decent showing.
Melina came out for like a quick second out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't need to. I don't need to run through all the legends because you named them all. The ones of note. Liv Morgan had a good showing there as well. But then later on, her and another surprise entrant, Sarah Logan. They came back, but they were both eliminated by the Bella Twins.
Yes.
So, there goes that. So, and again, the Bella Twins, nobody cares. Michelle McCool, Molly Holly, like we said, all the legends. We don't care. Ivory.
Charlotte came out on number 17. Charlotte came out number 17. That was okay. Number 20, like you said, Mickie James with the Impact Championship, Hardcore Country, rather her normal WWE theme song. And like you said, like we were thinking maybe they were going to push Liv Morgan to the Final Four because she's been having a great push on Monday Night Raw. So that was, I think, that was one thing. Asuka was cleared to wrestle. She did not come back on the Royal Rumble. That was another one. But like you said, there was a lot of rumors about Ronda Rousey coming back. And you say Nikki Bella, like the Bella Twins, like that. They're there for just, pop some type of crowd, not us. But in the end, like you said, the Bella Twins took care of Liv Morgan and Lita. Lita was supposed to have this feud with Charlotte. She comes back, they had this stare down. But in the end, Paul, Ronda Rousey comes back. It was more than announced. Every single outlet, every single sports outlet, and they said that Ronda Rousey was already ready to come back to the WWE, and she was going to win the Royal Rumble, and that's what ended up happening. So this thing with Lita and Charlotte was just a stare down. I don't think it's going to be a feud unless they do something at the Elimination Chamber that is going to be in Saudi Arabia. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But what the Final Four was Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, kind of like the same girls from last year, just with the addition of Ronda Rousey.
It was
Shayna Baszler.
It was Shayna Baszler, Charlotte, Bianca, and Ronda. Rhea was the number 5 woman. She got dumped out. And then you saw pretty much Shayna and Bianca were fighting on the outside, and Charlotte dumps the 2 of them. So then you see, okay, here it is, 2/3 of the WrestleMania. What was it, 34? WrestleMania 34 main event. So they go at it, and they really don't even go at it. Ronda's kind of in the corner. She's selling from getting beat up. Charlotte runs at her with a big boot. She catches her kind of like in that Taz suplex, like with the one leg hooked, and just kind of slowly dumps her over the ropes, and she falls, and Ronda wins. I mean, pretty big pop, a bigger one than I thought, because it's going to be like, hey, spoiler alert, I'm sure you guys already saw Brock Lesnar won. So I feel like this was like the female version of that, where
Yeah.
it's like, we're just gonna take the MMA, the badass person. It's like, oh, as soon as you see them, you go, oh yeah, they're gonna win. As soon as Ronda's music hit, there was no doubt anybody in that arena. It didn't matter who came out after her. You knew she was gonna win. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Like I said, a Bailey would have been cool, an Asuka. I'm not saying these people to win it, but to come back. I mean, maybe they think, hey, we got to move the needle. And I mean, Ronda Rousey does, because at least she'll be on all, she'll be reported on all the major sports outlets because she's a major sports star.
And like if the only reason Ronda Rousey will agree to come back, it will just be like, oh, if I'm winning. There's no way for her to lose. And
there would be, and she's too big of a name. Why would you bring her back to lose? That wouldn't.
Yes, also. And but like, for example, I thought that like she would go to Becky Lynch. She will go and challenge her. She will be the feud. Remember, that was like the main story, and then the addition of Charlotte was just like, oh, why is she in the middle of this too? I thought that like they were going to have the singles feud. Now the reports are saying that she's going to actually go on SmackDown, and she's going to actually have that match with Charlotte, which is like more of the same. We saw that at the Survivor Series 2017. So am I excited? No, but like you said, Ronda Rousey comes back. Everybody, I mean, like you said, what can we say 50-50 when it comes to like the pop and like the reception of the crowd?
Nah, I mean, I it was bigger than I thought. I don't know if I go quite split down the middle, but I mean, they liked it. Ronda looked 50-50. She was kind of happy, but kind of just like wasn't even wearing gear. Just like, it looked like leggings and just like workout shirt. It just said like badass or something on it. And it's like, okay, I don't know what she was wearing, but
we need at least a little bit of skin right here. Like I mean, like a wrestler. Yeah.
Some kind of like wrestling attire. But I mean,
it seems like they convinced her, Paul. Like they convinced her, like 5 minutes before yesterday or something.
It's like they saw her at the bar, like, hey, do you want to go in the Royal Rumble? But I mean, you said it's a lock for Charlotte Flair. I think they're going to tease it. We got to wait and see, because eventually, with what we saw, coming up with Becky Lynch, spoiler, beating Doudrop or Piper Niven. So now it's who's going to be her next challenger? Maybe it will be Ronda Rousey. We don't know.
No, and also, for example, Ronda Rousey is going to be on Monday Night Raw. So like, I mean, of course they have to address that, but I feel that like then she's going to like quickly move to SmackDown. Kind of like, WWE likes to do these things like in a very quiet manner. So probably they will do the same. For example, like for many that don't know, Big E actually was moved to SmackDown. There you go. For Big E, like after like day one, he started out 2022 like not in a great way. So I mean, like if Ronda Rousey likes to go there and be with Charlotte, I don't think that's the marquee match. It should be Becky Lynch, just because of the feud itself calls for it. Remember, like even the rise for Becky Lynch, it was because of Ronda Rousey. It has nothing to do with Charlotte. So we'll see. But I mean, in the end, like you said, they brought like a big name to win the Royal Rumble, and they did that. And I feel that like outside of her, maybe it would have been nice, like you said. I would have much rather to see what you said, Liv Morgan winning that, because it would have been fresh and it would have been the purpose of the Royal Rumble. Give somebody that is absolutely new an opportunity for a championship match, and then in WrestleMania, the big crowning of a new champion. But of course, nowadays WWE, they just bring the person that has name value, and that's it. They don't care about building anybody's future or doing anything in a different matter. So Paul, like, let's go, like you said, Doudrop against Becky Lynch. Piper Niven, I'd rather call her Piper Niven. Good match, pretty decent, but in the end, two heels, right? That is something that I don't know if they realized that, and we knew that like Becky Lynch was not going to drop that title. So that's all it was. I mean, it's a good start for like Piper Niven. She has like a lot of like good momentum here. She beat a lot of the girls in that fatal 4-way or triple threat, regardless. But and when it comes to winning the championship, she didn't do it in NXT UK. She's not going to do it here.
No, and especially not against Becky Lynch as close to WrestleMania. This match was really good. I liked it. The crowd wasn't completely dead, but still, after following a Royal Rumble match, don't matter who would have won, the crowd is a little bit out of it. And this match, I don't want to say it suffered from it, but again, another one where you just came off a Royal Rumble, and it's a match where the outcome is pretty predictable. Becky Lynch is going to win, but it was still good. I thought Niven, she's one of those people who you hear, hey, Vince McMahon and them, they like her. They like what she's doing. So hopefully that's a good thing. She had a good match here. Becky Lynch wins with that, like the manhandle slam. Or
Yeah, the
whatever
man.
she
Yeah,
calls
pretty
it.
much
Yeah,
like the
off the
rock
second
bottom.
rope. Yeah, like off the second rope. But I mean, Niven is great, and she can hang. This match wasn't like 5 minutes and done. They had a pretty good match, and she doesn't get winded. She doesn't get bullshit or anything. And I hope they do put gold on her. At some point. But with all the big name women they bring in, like the Ronda Rouseys, the Charlotte Flairs, all them, you just kind of worried that she's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, but like I'm actually very surprised that like this point, we actually see Piper Niven being featured in the way that like she's being featured. Because
I mean, it's good that I guess somebody likes her, backstage.
I know, and like you said, Vince McMahon supposedly he's a big fan of her work, so like it's good because to be able to have a championship match at a major pay-per-view, that says something. I mean, that this could change like in a minute, in a matter of seconds when it comes to Vince McMahon.
They could fire her tomorrow.
Yes, and unfortunately, we gotta also say, for everybody, like Vince McMahon's mom died today, so hey, I know that like we hate the boss, we hate the chairman, but like when we lose your mother, hey, condolences from the Raw break to Vince McMahon and everything. But like you said, I mean, the fact that she actually was featured in a match, something that not even Selena Vega and like so many other girls that like in marquee like pay-per-views like this, Piper Niven, in just like what 5 months, not even 3-4 months that she's been in the main roster. I like that. So
she paid her dues with Eva Marie, and then
exactly. You go from Eva Marie to this. Hey, I'll take it. The girl deserves it. That's good. So that for me, I think so. That was really good. And then you go. The attendance was 44,000 folks, 44,390 people. Of course, WWE makes up the number. It's probably 40,000, but still a lot of people that COVID and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm glad that people though did attend this, but because I think you and I both agree, because of the way the Royal Rumble match always works, it's definitely the most exciting pay-per-view.
And you need people. You need people. You absolutely need people, because if that is just dead. Even when they did it with the Thunderdome and everything, it was semi-exciting, but you need the crowd, because this type of matches, like you said, wrestling, the wrestling itself feeds off the crowd.
Oh yeah,
the reactions and all of that. Like, for example, in the women's Royal Rumble, when Ivory came out and the right to censor, things like that, or like, I mean, those kind of things happen thanks to the crowd. Because if there's no crowd, it will mean nothing. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about this match. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, dream match in the making, WWE Championship on the line. I liked it, very to the point, and Lesnar sold for Bobby Lashley. And you know that Brock, when he's into it, when he's actually for the guy, when he wants to work with the other person, the guy always gives a 5-star match. And for me, I enjoyed it for what it was, and especially the outcome of how they did it, even better.
Yeah, see, I didn't like the end. I mean, everything up until the ending was great. In the beginning, it was like two, bulls, two lions just like circling each other. Lesnar hit him with the big German suplex, but then Lashley got up, and Lesnar was smiling, laughing, having a good time. Then Lashley hit him with one, and Lesnar was kind of like, oh, okay, oh shit. He hits him, boom, boom, 2 German suplexes. Lashley hits suplexes. We see spears. We see all these back and forth. Lesnar rolls to the outside. And Lashley, he goes for a big spear, but he goes through the barricade. And I mean, that barricade exploded. I don't know what the hell. They must have gimmicked that thing up something good, because the pieces went everywhere. And then Lashley, he gets up, he no-sells it, he throws Lesnar into the ring post and everything, and he goes in there and he gets him in a hurt lock. I mean, it was great. It was like, big moves by big men, and it was slow, but it was fast-paced. It was like everything was super impactful, and it was really good. And then the only thing I just didn't care for was like the ending. When he picks him up and he has him in the F5, you think, okay, shit. I mean, I'm thinking Lashley's going to kick out of one F5. I didn't know maybe Lesnar was going to retain. I didn't know how they were going to do this. He throws the F5. He hits the ref. Here is the bump. The ref's down. What's going on? Then
something is going to happen. Roman comes out.
Roman comes in. I think he hits him with a Superman punch.
Yes.
And then, Heyman's there. He gives him the title. Do they chase off MVP, or does MVP just run away?
No. MVP is not doing anything at that point. MVP is just like...
I guess why would he interfere? They're not really attacking.
Yes, exactly. So, like, he hits him with the belt, and then as they're leaving, and that's where MVP starts, like, going around, because he wants the ref to wake up.
Yeah.
To pin Bobby Lashley, and, 1, 2, 3, and Bobby Lashley becomes the brand new, for the second time, WWE champion. Good for the Almighty.
The only thing I wish,
Go ahead.
the only thing I wish is, and I mean, I don't know if this would have made it look any better, or if at this point it didn't really matter, but do something where maybe he just Superman punches him, and then he sets him up where he's like in the corner, and then Lesnar kind of stumbles out of the corner, and then Lashley hits him with a spear. I didn't like how Lashley kind of just like crawled over and just like covered him.
Oh yeah,
like 1, 2, 3. Like I wish Lashley would have like hit a move or something, something impactful, or I don't.
Or like kind of like secure the victory, do something of his own to kind of again win the championship. But in the end, you see that like this duo are back together. The Wise Man and the Tribal Chief, they cannot live aside from each other. So there you go. The storyline progresses when it comes to this too.
And also one of the biggest things here, which my fear, it came to fruition in a little while, but as soon as this was over and I saw this outcome, I thought, oh God, Lesnar's going to win the Men's Royal Rumble now.
Yes,
because they're definitely doing this match, and I mean, Lesnar could win the Elimination Chamber, but I'm like, no, I think their big thing is the Royal Rumble. They'd rather have Lesnar win that because Vince can't wait to do it at the Elimination Chamber. He wants the big surprise right now, so I'm like, they're gonna do it here.
That's the thing, and I mean, like I said, Bobby Lashley is is for the second time WWE champion. They like his work; he deserves it. Bobby Lashley, he's been legit ever since he won. He became champion of Monday Night Raw. He got like that good run, even with he pinned Braun Strowman. That was good that they have this match. It wasn't probably the great outcome because the addition of Roman, but at least we got to see teases of what this match can be. Maybe at some point down the line they have one, so they can always go back to it. So that was good. This is just something that it shouldn't even been part of the Rumble, not because of Edge, not because of Beth Phoenix. The Miz and Maryse here, you know what? They are used to doing this tag matches. This is the third time that they do this. Remember, Paul, with like Nikki Bella and John Cena, with Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, and now with Edge and Beth Phoenix. So this for me, Edge is probably saying, I'm going to collect my paycheck and that's all I need. I don't care about this storyline. It doesn't do anything for me. Maybe it's just an easier match for me. It's less work. The Miz maybe is a good worker. He probably will not hurt me, so that's why I'm doing it. And it was pretty just decent at most. I didn't care for this too much because we know the winner. It's going to be Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah,
we're just going to enjoy Maryse's like body nature. That's all.
Yeah, I really don't have this to me was when I went and got more coffee and went to the bathroom and maybe got a little snack or something.
Yes,
I came back at the end. I saw Maryse hit her with a purse that was supposed to be loaded, but then she chucked the purse like it was nothing in there, so I guess it was loaded with air. No, actually, you know what? I know what it was loaded with. It was loaded with bullshit, which is what this match was. What they hit him with, like a double move, and it was like the double Grand Slam. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. Team. What do they call them? Team Grit or Team something. They win here.
Yes.
And I mean, again, this was just good for the people that like the couple drama and all that stuff. But no, it shouldn't be on wrestling. Edge should be in. It sucks that Edge came back, last year winning the Royal Rumble. We thought he was going to beat Roman Reigns and all this stuff. Now this year he's in a mixed tag match.
And that's what it is. It's not even in the Rumble, and like I said, he's like, I don't think he's happy with like this outcome of the feud, but it's like, hey, we're gonna give you more money, so just do it. And again, he probably thinks, maybe working with the Miz is a lot easier than Roman, a lot easier than Rollins, a lot easier. These guys are gonna give you a more competitive match. So hey, let's just do this, and maybe for like Money in the Bank, that will be something better. Maybe I can have a better feud, and maybe like a chance for me to be champion. It's about time. Maybe a feud with the Almighty. Something. It has to happen. Exactly. It's about time. So, Paul, like you said, the next time we'll see each other with pay-per-view on WWE, because they actually cover even other things. We do AEW, we do NWA, we do Impact. It will be Saturday, February 19, and the Elimination Chamber. They didn't change the name. It says Elimination Chamber. So a lot of people that were already reporting that, no, it's not going to be like that. There you go. It's going to be Elimination Chamber. So that's good. And now tell me, Paul, about this Royal Rumble of the men's that was not good at all. Not interesting, not even dramatic. It was like the eliminations, a lot of guys were treated like crap. It reminded me a little bit of like 2019, but it wasn't just the fact that Brock Lesnar eliminated all of them at the same, one after the other. But here, everybody that kind of had name value was eliminated in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, when this thing started, it was AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura started this, and great to start this, and I'm watching it, and they're having a nice little contest, and I'm like, man, I could just watch these guys wrestle for 20 minutes, like this is, made me
Yes.
think of what the WrestleMania match should have been, and then Austin Theory comes out, I believe, third, and okay,
Yes, that was third. Yeah.
Austin Theory's great, this is again starting off good, and eventually they start adding more guys, and then we see Shinsuke Nakamura, he gets eliminated, and Johnny Knoxville saying
No,
that whole thing goes on.
no.
I mean, thankfully he came in, he was within the top 10, and he
Yes.
gets eliminated fairly quickly. He didn't do no harm, but then Sami Zayn got eliminated right away.
Yes.
So he was a wasted pick. We see Omos, and I mean,
He
again,
was another one. That's the same thing that they do all the time when there's a big guy. Everybody else teams up, they get it out. All the eliminations were like quick, not dramatic.
And then the one thing I will say is when I don't know if you heard, but when Bobby Roode came in, a big TNA chant
went like, and Bobby Roode was actually number 4 when Bobby Roode came out, and they had a big like thing with AJ, so they were like TNA, very cool, because that's how people. Bobby Roode, unfortunately, after the NXT days, completely wasted. We always say that's probably one of the biggest and most outrageous things that WWE ever did. Like if you wanted to give Triple H a heart attack,
and the fact that he's still there, because he must have re-signed a deal. There's no way his deal was.
Because there's that's a long. He probably did resign because why? You always say this. It's a good paycheck. It's easy. I can have to do house shows. I'm barely on TV. If they want to give me a title, they will give me a tag title. I will never fight for the main ones. That's fine. My character is legit. No, it's not. But and then he'll never reach to that.
Yeah, and then eventually you had Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. They came in and they cleared house. They everybody. I believe they eliminated. Well, I don't know if they eliminated.
They eliminated Dominic. They eliminated Dominic Mysterio. They eliminated a few guys,
and they eliminated AJ Styles as well. Which was again complete bullshit. To me, AJ could have been in the final 4.
Yes,
I mean AJ. He could even won the damn thing if he wanted to. But then we see Drew come out. He eliminates, those 2 clowns, and okay.
Well, see, this is another thing. If you let me stop you for a second, right here. He was supposed to be injured. He was supposed to miss the Rumble.
To me, I figured that he's gonna miss it. That was all just like a swerve. That was a big thing because he was gonna come back, and I almost thought maybe if you. Not saying Drew was going to win it a second year in a row, but to me, I was like, Drew's really the only guy who it's like, who's that one guy who they're maybe kind of building up, getting ready, because all the storylines are awful. Yeah. But it's like, if you had to choose from one person, who would it be? And it's like, I guess Drew McIntyre. I really don't know. Like I said, AJ Styles would have been another cool one. But eventually, all these guys come out. Rey Mysterio as well. We get through everybody.
This was all for shit because they
botched that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They botched.
You know what? I love it because serves you right. You do the same stupid fucking thing every year, where you have to throw yourself out of the ring and land on your dick, or land on your face, or land on your hands, or on your knees, or no. If you go out of the ring at all, it's done. It should be done. Not
they completely.
It should just be done.
And it's like you said,
if you touches the ground, don't matter with any part of your body, you're done.
And you know what was funny though?
And I'm glad that they messed it up. And nothing against Kofi, because it could have been Naomi, it could have been whoever. But it's stupid that they do it, and I'm glad.
And you know what's funny about that is remember when Michael Cole, when Kofi Kingston was coming out, then he said, "Oh, he's he's gonna do something crazy." He said he's gonna something cool to stay alive in the Rumble. They completely busted, and like you said, probably Kofi was pissed. Everybody was pissed, but they have to follow the rules, and the show is live, so they have to actually go by that. Like you said, eventually Bad Bunny comes out. Yeah, there you go. So this is another one. He's a fan of wrestling. He's cool.
This couldn't have been a Matt Cardona. This couldn't have been
Moose.
A Cody Rhodes. This couldn't have been anybody like that. No, Bad Bunny and him and Matt Riddle, they team up. They eliminate Dolph Ziggler. Like you said, Bad Bunny had a better showing than somebody like a Ricochet in this. And it's like, what is this? Is so stupid. This is so shitty. And to make it worse,
eliminate Sheamus.
Yeah, and to make it worse, Ridge Holland got eliminated right away, done. And to make it worse, Lesnar comes out, and And
Well, Randy Orton comes out. Everybody.
oh yeah, go ahead, take us through. Go ahead.
He's like he's from Missouri also. So like he, like everybody thought that like he was actually going to be have a long time in the match. Everybody thought that like he was going to have a good showing there because it's his hometown. But in WWE fashion now, like you said, number 30, Brock Lesnar comes out and he cleans house with absolutely everybody. Shayna Mac was right there. Matt Riddle was right there. Eliminated Brock eliminates Randy Orton as well. So he takes care of absolutely everybody.
Yeah, and let me ask you about that because you're a big Shane fan. What did that do anything for you?
No.
I'm like,
and that's my thing is like, when you put like guys like, okay, you put the name value in them, for example, like Shane O'Mac, have them do something. No,
but he's not a name anymore.
And if that on its own is true, why you even have the guy?
This isn't the Attitude Era where he's a character. Oh, he's in the Royal Rumble. He's doing this to screw, so and so. No, he's not in a storyline. No, he's not for anything, and he's not going to win.
Yes. No, and then the main thing, like you said, is like he has. I think he's probably, contractual obligations. That's what I think it is. Hey, he has an appearance. He needs to do that in order to get the green bills. So he did it. Okay, 2 seconds, done. Now you said Brock comes out. He takes care of absolutely everybody. And the final two is actually Drew McIntyre and him. So they go and they try to go at it for a little bit. So they want to exchange the punches. Brock actually countered the kick that like Drew McIntyre does.
The Claymore.
The Claymore kick. And in the end, then he does the F5 and kind of like he was trying to do it.
Yeah, he just picks him out. Yeah. He just picked them up like in the fireman's carry, like the F5,
and that's it.
He just threw him over the thing, and I mean, again, it was barely any longer than Charlotte and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
it was just boom, 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 picked them up, chucked them over, like hey, like let's go home. It wasn't like Shawn and Undertaker having like a 20-minute match, at the end of the thing.
That was badass. That was a great conclusion of the Rumble. That was great.
They were just like, no, screw it, And again, I think this was like a wet fart. This was a soggy ending. It was predictable, but it was only predictable after the WWE Championship match. And as soon as that hit, nobody wanted to see this. It was the worst ending imaginable. And again, a very forgettable Rumble. To me, they've all been kind of bad. The last one that I thought was really good, that a lot of people were at least into and excited, was when Nakamura won.
Yeah.
Not even like, you like Nakamura, he's lame, blah blah blah. But like, I mean, I feel Rollins was okay too, but Drew winning, I think that was predictable, and that wasn't a good Rumble match.
The first 20 minutes from that Rumble was not good.
Awful.
Yeah,
and
but the Nakamura one was actually good because it was, like you said, it's somebody that nobody even thought he was going to win, and he had to go through Roman. And remember, at that time, Roman, everybody hated him. So the fact that
and also last year too with Edge, that one was also a little predictable.
No, and also bullshit because he came out number one,
and it was predictable. So it's like, he's going to go from number one, he's going to beat everybody, and Randy Orton came right out at the end, and you're like, it's out.
Yes, exactly. So like, I mean, for you got to say this is true. I agree, and Brock Lesnar winning is, again, it needs to be newer guys. It would have been a great place for, like, I don't want to say Austin Theory because way too green and but like somebody else, like, give him an opportunity. And that's why Mustafa Ali is like, are we going to see you in the Rumble? No, I don't want to be there. I want my release. There you go. So that's what, like, it would have been cool to see Moose. It would have been cool to see Cody. It would have been cool to see anybody. So this tells me that, WWE didn't want to do any more deals. Mickie James, the only reason why they did it, because they didn't have enough girls. And that's what you say, Paul. They have to bring 10 legends.
And because she worked there. Cody Rhodes, his gimmick and his look is changed too much to be like, he was the guy who used to wrestle here.
Yes.
And Moose and them never wrestled here, and with Cardona and all them, maybe they didn't want them, or maybe they didn't want to do it.
And on that, Paul, a good thing on the Inspiration, the former Iconics, they actually they actually rejected the offer. They said, we're not doing this shit. They treat us like shit. They want us back. Fuck that. So I mean, to summarize everything, overall probably like a 6.5 for the Royal Rumble. I mean, the matches, like the championship matches were good. I like that. Even Becky won like Piper, Niven, and Doudrop. It was actually good. The women's Royal Rumble was better than the men's. So that, I mean, maybe there's time restraints. Maybe that's why they had to, like you said, go home because actually they went 4 hours. So that's why it is a little bit takes a little bit more time. And the Rumble is always like there's this big walk that they have to do. And always instead of like having like a smaller like range of like between the gorilla per se or the entrance into the ring is like always actually huge. So that also takes a lot of time. The entrances is like 20 minutes per match, so that takes a lot of time. Yeah. That's what we have. Family, thank you so very much for being with us one more time. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. The next week we'll have more content for every single one of you. Where else can they find us, Paul?
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...